Imagine a woman who lived life on her own terms, fierce and unyielding, yet holding a secret admiration for a man who matched her in grit and truth. Years after they battled jungles and cameras together, she finally spoke his name with a warmth that surprised even her. This is the untold story of two Hollywood legends and a quiet bond that outlasted the spotlight dot. She came into the world on a spring day in 1907, in a Connecticut home, buzzing with ideas most families shied away from. Her father, a doctor pushing for change, and her mother, a voice for women's rights, raised her to question everything. Rules meant to be challenged? Expectations? Just noise. From the start, she learned to stand tall, speak sharp, and chase what set her soul on fire. As a kid, she turned living rooms into stages, directing her brothers and sisters in wild pretend worlds. Confidence wasn't taught, it lived in her bones. College sharpened her mind with books on history and big questions, but the theater pulled harder. She stepped onto real stages, voice cutting through the dark, presence impossible to ignore. Hollywood called in 1932. Her first film hit like a storm, critics blinking at this tall, athletic woman who refused to play small. A year later, an Oscar landed in her hands, proof she belonged. But the ride turned rocky fast. Flops piled up. Headlines screamed box office poison. Most would have crumbled. She didn't. She fought back on Broadway, starring in a play built just for her. Then she grabbed the movie rights, cast herself opposite charm and wit, and stormed back into cinemas. The comeback wasn't luck. It was pure will. Through the decades, she became the actress who could do anything. Comedy, drama, Queens, and Crohn's. 4 Oscars total. A record that still stands off screen. Love found her in complicated shapes. She married young, to a kind man from money and manners. He adored her fire. She needed hair to burn brighter. 6 years in, they parted gently, no drama, just truth. She never walked down another aisle. I wasn't built for it, she'd say later, no apology in her voice. Then came the partnership that defined her heart. 27 years with a married leading man, 9 films sparking with banter and respect. They kept it private, loyal to the life they chose. The happiest years, she called them, eyes soft for once. But there's one co-star she rarely mentioned. A tough guy with a crooked smile and zero patience for fake. They met on a river in 1951, cameras rolling through mud, heat, and sickness. The African Queen wasn't just a movie, it was survival. And he? He never flinched. If this story touches your heart, please share it. The set was hell. Bugs the size of quarters. Water that made you sick just looking at it. Days blurring into fever and filth. Everyone broke a little except him. She watched him sip whiskey, crack a joke, and keep rowing like the world wasn't falling apart. No complaints. No ego. Just work. She came from East Coast polish. He carried street-smart edge. On screen, they clashed like fire and whiskey perfect. Off-screen, respect grew quiet and deep. He taught her silence could scream louder than words. She taught him, well, maybe just to laugh a little harder. He loved his wife fiercely, called her baby like it was prayer. That loyalty hit her hard. She knew the weight of loving someone unavailable. But where her romance stayed shadowed, his shone steady. He knew who he was, she said years later. And that's rare in our circus. Nights in the jungle, he and the director kept spirits up with stories and smoke. This beats an office job, he'd grin, sweat dripping. She laughed until her sides hurt, forgetting the mosquitoes for a minute. In those moments, titles melted. Just 2 pros holding the line. But something shifted when he got sick. Real sick. Cancer came fast. He was gone by 1957, only 57 years old. She went to the funeral quiet, coat pulled tight, no cameras allowed. The world mourned the legend. She mourned a friend who'd been real when real was hard. Late in life, tremors in her hands, voice still crisp, she finally talked about him. Not the icon, the man. Nothing phony, she said, New England accent cutting clean. What you saw was what he gave. Tough outside, decent all the way through. She remembered the river, the jokes, the way he never played hero, just lived it. He didn't act tough. He was tough. And kind. Rare combination. Her words came slow, like pulling treasure from deep water. No fluff, just truth. He'd shown her strength wasn't loud. It was showing up. Every day. No matter what. And in a town built on mirrors, that honesty felt like oxygen. She lived to 96, body failing, but spirit sharp. When she passed in 2003, the world lost a voice that never bent. But her words about him, they live on. A tribute not to a star, but to a man who stayed human when fame tried to steal his soul. If this moved you, hit like, subscribe, and share it far. Let's keep real stories alive.